Yo guys, in this video I'm going to be going over my thoughts and opinions on Harvest League. I'm going to try to talk about what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and my thoughts of it not going into core game. Without further ado, here we go. For the first part about this video, I want to talk about the mechanic itself and what I liked and what I didn't like about it. So when it comes from harvesting the seeds, I found it very simple concept. Just click on the seeds, loot the seeds. It's pretty simple to learn, pretty straightforward. The fact that they gave you a stash for the seed I think is good because it showed that they didn't really want to sell another stash tab because we got enough of them as it is. The only thing I didn't like about the seed thing is it should be more party friendly. Like if you're grouping with your buddies, you should be able to at least get a separate seed loot for them, or if they had their garden going, like whenever you clicked on the garden, it should have advanced their garden as well. I think that would have been a lot better quality of life for party play, for sure. In regards to the farm, I didn't really like it personally. I thought there was like way too much micromanaging going on when it comes to an action RPG game. Building your farm in general was kind of confusing a little bit and like really tedious. I found like trying to get all the dispersers around, like buying all the tanks, connecting everything. Like part of an action RPG in my opinion is to go out and kill monsters, get loot, and have fun. I found at the beginning of the league that I was spending more time in my farm than doing maps and stuff, trying to figure it out, set everything up, getting all the tanks going and connecting all the wires and stuff. I don't know, I wasn't a big fan of that personally. It didn't feel like an action RPG to me. It felt like playing SimCity or something, trying to connect all the power lines to the houses and whatnot. I personally think they should have had the tanks bigger at the beginning, maybe even if they costed like twice as much or whatever, just so you didn't have to have so many of them around. I had like a lot, but apparently my farm wasn't super efficient, so it is what it is. I still figured it out though and made it work. When it came to like tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 seeds is really when it got tedious to me, like having to set up the dispersers and stuff. But once you got your like template down, it wasn't so bad. But like you couldn't just click on the thing to automatically disperse seeds anymore. You had to like space them out, make sure that you have enough tier 2s connected to tier 3, enough tier 1s connected to tier 2s. That part wasn't too bad. You just had to space them out and hit the button. But I just found like that was really tedious and it was kind of boring, and I didn't think it was for me really. It was just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just didn't like it. And when it came to the horde crafting stations, I think they should have made them a little more user friendly, I guess. Like maybe just being able to buy one and then buying slots for it and then having like a little search thing so you can search for your craft instead of having to highlight them all if they're all over your farm or whatever. You can put them in your stash, but you can't access your stash and your seed thing, so you'd have to leave, do your stash thing, find out which crafts you want, then go back and stuff. I just found it really tedious. I think with like the farm upgrading and stuff, they should have kind of did it more like you do with Delve, where you had like your Azurite thing where you upgrade like little pieces like your darkness resist or like the amount of flares you can have, or that thing. If they had like a building in the middle of the farm where it's like, all right, instead of like building all these little farms, maybe have a building where you can use the juice from your tier 1 plants and save it and then upgrade it so you can grow tier 2s, but require it where you need like 4 tier 1s to grow a tier 2 and then click on it with that. And then with the storage things, just like upgrade pieces of your building so you can store more of each juice or whatever. I think that would have been a lot more user friendly, and you'd be spending a lot less time in your farm trying to connect everything together, getting it all to work and whatnot. With that method or whatever, with depending on what tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 4 seeds where you need like the certain juice, since you can store it in your building or whatever, it can just like take it from that to like fertilize them and get ready to summon a thing, and then just click on something that will teleport you to like a room or make it so you have to run somewhere to kill all the monsters that come out. I think that would have personally been a lot easier and a lot better, and you'd be spending a lot less time in the farm and more time like killing monsters. And when it comes to the horde crafting stations, I think they should have had it where you can upgrade a part of your farm building if they went with that one to start off like you can store one and then give more juice to store 2, 3, 4. You ought to slowly like upgrade it to like a maximum of like, I don't know, 20 or something. I think that would have been a lot better and more easier to understand and whatnot. And then you wouldn't have like all these Horde crafting stations everywhere where you had to like highlight them all to figure out what's crafts in them. I think 20 or 50 would be a reasonable number for that. When it came to the bosses, I only fought 2 of them, I think, but I thought they were really kind of boring, lackluster. Nothing like exciting about it. It's like I killed the boss. I was like, yay. It was like a harder monster than the rest of them. It was no like satisfaction of like building up all your seeds, like the RNG for the one to drop, because it seemed like it took forever to get a tier 4 seed to drop. It's like, it should have been exciting and be like, yes, I get to fight a boss, but then it's like, and you didn't even drop a unique or any like thing that I wanted or just thought would be cool or something. I think the boss rewards should have been rewarding kind of like, hey, this boss was pretty challenging. I actually killed him and then get a cool piece of loot. I know they give you like a crafting recipe or whatever, but it just kind of was lackluster in my opinion when it comes to the bosses. When it comes to the crafting, I thought it was kind of cool in a way, I guess, that it was really easy and then you can target craft, but it got old for me pretty quickly. It was nice to have it for solo self-found as well, as I'm starting to like dive into that a bit, as I would like to go into some of these races and stuff, but I haven't really played solo self-found at all, so I'm still trying to figure that out. One thing I really liked about it is like sockets. You can get your off colors pretty good on armor and whatnot. I was been using that a lot, actually. I thought it was pretty good. And another thing I really liked about the crafting thing is being able to change your quality on your weapon or your armor or whatever. So like for weapon, it's like, oh, now I can get more AoE per 4 or 5% quality. I forget what it was, or elemental damage or something. It allowed quality to matter for casters instead of just attacks, and I thought that was really cool. But for the cons of the crafting, I just found that like a lot of people weren't using that many uniques, because crafting gear is really easy. And when it comes to crafting this great gear, I don't think it's really needed to do all content in the game. Like my gear was pretty mediocre, I would say, and I was able to kill every boss in the game with my character. Just need a good build to go with mediocre gear and you should be fine for clearing stuff. I think they should have maybe made it harder stuff to like that you need this gear to be able to kill it to make it worthwhile. I think it was really bad for the longevity of the league, because once everyone got this great gear really quick, there's no like, all right, I can't make my character stronger anymore. Is it's as strong as he's gonna be? So it's like either make a new character or like quit the league, and I found the league really died off probably a week before that China race started. It also didn't seem many people were running as many bosses this league either, because you didn't really need the gear from the bosses because you can just craft your own. I found that it kind of like alienated that part of the Path of Exile, where people would usually kill the bosses, sell the gear, upgrade their gear through trading or whatever. I don't know so much about solo self-found. Obviously that won't work, but I don't know if that's just me overthinking it, but it just, I don't know, it kind of felt that way to me. The last part about the crafting I want to talk about is the new Uber Lab keys. I thought those were really fun for me. It was like the hardest content in the league in my opinion, when it came to like all the new stuff that they added. I thought it was really cool that they were testing out different offerings and different things to do with the Zaro and stuff. Gives me hope that they're thinking about lab and making it better for the lab farmers. I also like the fact that you didn't get extra points, so you didn't even need to run these labs outside of the achievements. So like people that hate lab, which is like 99.9% of people, didn't have to worry about running it to progress their character or anything. I thought that was pretty cool. The only thing about the new lab keys that I'll bring up is the chest one. I think it needs to be a little bit better. I figured that if the chest dropped crap to begin with and you drop 20% more crap, it's still going to be crap. So I think that needs to be buffed a little bit. The other two I think were fine. It's just the first one needs to get out of Parendus League. When it came to the stuff that they buffed and whatever in the league, like the gems and whatnot, I didn't really play around with them too much. I usually like wait a league or two, because I don't really play meta, and usually that turns into meta. But I was really enjoying the war cries. Enduring Cry was pretty cool, but I almost think that it's a little too strong for the life regen part, because it's like you can literally run through the game just using Enduring Cry and you'll keep your health up for the most part. I think they need to make the cooldowns a little bit shorter on those and the cast time, but that's up to them. Maybe there's a reason for it. But I never tried the new melee gems. Maybe in the next league or two I will check them out. When it comes to putting the league into the core game, I am totally with GGG not putting it in there. I think it would hurt the long-term part of the game because it's just too easy at that point, and that's not what Path of Exile is about. It's meant to be a grind. It's meant to be, I have to work towards something. It's like, all right, I got this piece of gear, and I work towards something else. But I found with this league, they kind of like handed it all out on a silver platter, and it just, everyone got geared up too fast and just got bored and quit. I find that sometimes being a lab runner, it's like, all right, 3 or 4 weeks in, I have more currency than I need. I can buy whatever gear I want, and then it just doesn't feel the same. There's no like gonna build up to here or build up to there. That's when I usually jump to like Solo Self-Found or something, just to like reset and just have fun and really grind out and figure out my characters. My final thoughts from the week was, it wasn't really for me. Like, I'm not really into crafting or whatever, and just, it's not my style. I'm more of like a delirium type person where it's like all this crazy stuff's going on, you can quickly kill stuff and then have this cool like simulacrum or something that can really challenge your character, or being able to put the map at 100% delirium and make that map like super hard and see like, all right, let's see if I can do this or whatever. That just felt more satisfying to me than here's all this gear that's overpowered, you can face roll everything, and the game's way too easy at that point. It's just not for me. But some things that I'm hoping for next week is, I've always loved totems, but they've been in such a bad spot the past little while. I really hope for some totem love. Please. And just hopefully the league's fun, more oriented around a cool mechanic like bosses or whatever, and not Farmville or whatever. Wasn't a big fan of that personally. That's my opinion on the league. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know not everyone's going to agree with me, and that's fine. I accept it. What I find fun, what other people find fun, obviously different, but that's good. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.